Hey, everybody, it's time for another edition of Inside Lion Athletics. I'm Charlie Chitwood. We're getting things off started for you on a beautiful Wednesday. It's gorgeous out, great day to play golf. So why not bring in one of the best golfers in the Southland Conference? We've got Marie Baertz, her first year at A&M Commerce. And what does she do? She goes out and knocks it around a few times. Top 10 finishes in 3 different tournaments. Tell everybody a little bit about that. Where did you play? Where were those tourneys?
Thank you so much. So the first tournament was at Missouri State. I finished in eighth place, and I was really happy with that because it was bent grass. So here we play on Bermuda, so it was already a little change for us. And I think for the first tournament of the season, we did really good, and I was pretty proud of our team and of myself. And then the second tournament, I finished top five. It was at UTA. And it was a pretty good tournament for me because it was my second round under par in college sports. So I was really happy with that, and I played 2 rounds under par and one 2 over par, and I finished 3 under par total. So that was really good. And then my third tournament, I finished top three in third place at Sam Houston State, and I was really happy with that too. The winner, she shot like 8 under or something, and I was just really happy to finish in third place.
That's great. You know,
Thank you.
you're having to get used to a few different things besides bent grass versus
Yeah,
Bermuda, huh? Home is Luxembourg,
it
which is
is.
about that big. That it's like Rockwall, kind of in size. How big a difference for you is it to be from Luxembourg and come to Hunt County in Texas and get your education and play golf?
So for us internationals, I think it's a big opportunity to combine sports and academics together. So I'm in construction engineering, and it's a lot of work, but my professors, they're just super supportive, and they want me to play well on the golf course. And then my coach also supports me to be good in the classroom. So we just have to manage our time, and I think it's hard to be away from family and friends,
Mm-hmm.
but I found my family here in my team, but also friends from different sports or just other students. And yeah, I think it's just very supportive, the whole environment.
Now you'd run across some other Lions, international Lions,
Yes.
and they told you about A&M Commerce.
Yes. So that was Sophie Hempel. She graduated, I think, 2 years ago or
Mhm.
3 years ago, and she plays on the same team in Germany with me. So that was super fun. Whenever she told me that I could do engineering here and combine it with my sport, I just reach out to the coach, and yeah.
That's great. So back home, when you go to play golf, is it kind of like here where you just get a tee time and go in and sign up and pay your
Okay,
money and
so
go play?
at my golf course, what is very surprising for Americans, we don't have golf carts.
Got to walk.
Yes, you have to walk. And then also we don't have tea times. You can just go whenever because Luxembourg is pretty small, so there's not a lot of people.
Yeah, especially if they all go over to Germany and play.
Yes.
You can play in so many different places. Are those kind of that golf culture where it's that casual? Is it that way in the other countries neighboring?
Yes, so for example, the big tournaments I play, it's mostly in Germany, France, and Belgium.
Hmm.
And then with the national team, for example, this year we have been in Liechtenstein, we have been to Singapore,
Hmm.
I've been to Finland this summer. So we in Europe, it's pretty easy to travel. It's like just traveling in Texas.
Oh, I know you hop on the train
Yeah.
and just go
So
anywhere almost.
yeah, we travel a lot for golf.
All right, shout outs to your teammates. Who do you like playing? Who's got the best long ball? Who's longest off the tee?
Ooh, on our team, it's Jordan.
Yeah,
Yes, she's
by a long
so
shot.
long. Yes, her driver's really, really well.
Who's got the best putter?
Um, I think it's our freshman,
Yeah,
Sarah.
yeah.
Yeah.
Short game.
Um, short game,
Hmm.
I would probably say Marie or Jules
Okay, this will be
because
the
they're shorter off the tee,
right.
but their short game is so good.
How they keep it in the fairway,
Yes.
don't they? Ah, that's always
Yes.
good. So this would be my biggest problem is trying to make a tough shot out of a bad lie. Who has the best shot out of a bad lie?
Honestly, I think Annika,
Hmm.
she can curve the ball. She can do like a lot of things that are like hard to learn. But I think she had a very good coach back home and she learned all of that and she doesn't get like stressed about the situation.
So, how do you feel about the games? It is a game that can make you beat your head on a rock if
It
things aren't going your
can.
way.
It can.
How do you? What value have you gotten from coaching so far?
Um, I think here, like, it's very, our coach is very big about attitude,
Hmm.
that we're not too hard on ourselves, but still like pursue our goals. So whenever we're on the course, like we try to be positive and have a positive attitude and just look forward instead of always thinking about the last shot. Because whenever I came here, I had a little bit of problems to forget the last shots that I did, the bad shots. And now I just look forward. I'm like, I can do this and just play.
Every next
I
shot
mean, we
is the
practice for this every day, so
yeah.
we should be able to do
Is it? Does every other student athlete envy you guys? You go play golf.
it. Yeah, I mean, we are outside a lot. I like that. Rockwall is pretty far, but it's still very nice. Like it's a very nice golf course, and we can be out there every day. So
Aw, shucks.
yes,
What a life. Hey, Marie, it's been great to have you on here
thank you
with us.
so much.
Congratulations again
Thank
on
you.
SLC Female Golfer of the Month. Let's go get another one. Go
Go
Lions, everybody.
Lions.
We'll be back in a little bit with more of Inside Lion Athletics. Hey, everybody, welcome back to Inside Lion Athletics. I have head coach Ashley Gordon joining us now to talk about women's soccer. Coach, only one game last week. You must have felt like you were just on vacation.
Didn't feel like vacation, but playing one game really was great for our team because, as I've mentioned and many times before, we've been banged up all season, and from the weekend prior, and we clocked in 2 games. Playing one game was definitely needed. We really needed the 2 additional days off, really, heading into this week because we have a big weekend.
Oh, indeed. We'll talk about those in a minute. The game you played last week, a 2-1 heartbreaker against A&M Corpus Christi. Coach, they're the only team in the conference left that doesn't have a conference loss.
Yeah, and we were completely prepared to play them. The team had great training sessions leading up to the game. They're a tough opponent. Corpus, their style of play different from ours. They're very, very direct. They do like to play for set pieces, which obviously we're a very dangerous team when it comes to set pieces. But their style of play was very similar to Stephen F. Austin. So we were preparing from a defensive standpoint to face them. They scored in the 25th minute. Really came from a set piece that was really a second phase that we did not seal players around the perimeter of the box and gave up a goal. But we responded very, very quickly within 2.5, 3 minutes. And again, coming from a set piece that Mindy Shoffett played a ball into the 18 and Mel Story got on the end of it. And honestly, it was a very difficult goal to score from her angle and being able to beat the keeper and had a player on her. But it was a great goal. So we had a really good response. Going into halftime, 1-1. Stats really were even. I think actually going into the second half, we were leading with shots and shots on goal, whereas Corpus had more corners than us.
Mm-hmm.
So it's something that we addressed at halftime. But either way, statistically, the game was pretty even. But it was a heartbreaker because we gave up a goal late in the second half due to a corner. And really, it was a goal that was a mistake on our end, that we didn't attack the ball. And those are goals that we typically do not give up. So at least getting scored off of corners, because that's something that we've been able to dominate in our conference, in both 18s. So it was a disappointing loss, but it wasn't due to effort or really the way that we played. I said to the team after the game, Corpus ended up beating us in our own game.
Coach,
Off a set piece.
3 weeks in, right, into conference. Yeah. We were just talking. We just got started. So what's the look around the conference? What's the big picture look like?
Everybody has a loss, as you've mentioned, except for Corpus. If you look at Southeast Louisiana and Stephen F. right now are at the top of the table, but both teams have losses, and that's because we've beaten them. So we've beaten, the team that's sitting in first and in second right now. So, heading into this weekend, it's going to be important because Northwestern State, they have a loss as well, but we play them at their place, and right now their record at home is within the entire season. They are 4-0-1 at home, so it's a tough place to be able to compete. But we're excited. We've got a great opportunity to be able to potentially get 6 points on the weekend. We've got to continue training hard. We've had an extra day of training this week, which has been advantageous for our team. And so, again, getting prepared for Nichols. Nichols is a tough team to play because they're a team that can sneak up on you in regards to,
especially in Thibodaux.
Yes, especially in Thibodaux. They can sneak up on you in regards to getting a goal, but they're also a team that absolutely capable of giving up goals. So when we've got a lot of shooters, we have a lot of players that can create opportunities, and so we need to do that. We need to be mindful of playing our game, and again, it's always about ironing out the details.
Mm-hmm.
So that's on Friday night's match. That's at 7 p.m. And then we've got a trip to, like I said, Northwestern State on Sunday. A good team, very organized. Again, has a great record at home. It's going to be a tough match, but it's an opportunity to be able to get points with someone that's above us in the standings right now. So, and if we could do that for the weekend, it would be great, to tell you the truth.
How about the health of the team? You getting anybody else back that you've been missing for a bit?
Yeah, we had Nia Mitchell, who's been out since the second game of the season. Now this week is back into training, which is great. Is she going to be prepared to play this weekend? That's a question mark, but certainly it's been great to get her back into training. We had, at the end of the game when we played Corpus, Jillian McKenzie, who has been very good in goal for us, actually took a knock, is out this week, so it's given an opportunity for Veronica to be able to step into goal, and so she's got 2 big games ahead of her. So but anyway, the health of the team is certainly getting better, which is important. And those players being able to potentially get minutes this weekend, I think, is also critical. And it's elevated practice to be able to have everybody, in training. So super excited about that. We had, and I want to mention, we had last weekend on Friday, Savannah Powell and Maya Mitchell both subbed in, are 2 players that can put the ball in the back of the net. I thought that they gave us great energy coming off the bench, and and Ashley Campazano, I thought, had one of her best games when we played Corpus, and so that was great to see. But we had freshman Elena Flores, who was able to sub in against Corpus and played very, very well. So I'm anticipating great minutes for her, this weekend. And I can't get out of here without mentioning Chris Schultz, who is our starting holding midfielder, who basically clocks 90 minutes every single game. And Chris has been so solid both sides of the ball, and this player can cover so much ground that it's incredible. So she's playing at the top as well. So we've got a lot of good pieces again, and just excited to have our health, or getting back in regards to our health of the team, and perfect time for us to try to go and get points.
All right. So last week's episode, we had a couple of your players on because they were players of the week. Did they get much rib? How did they do? Did their teammates give them a critique of their performance on Inside Line Athletics?
They didn't give them. They didn't critique them, so to speak. But I think they're just. But the teammates have been super excited for both of them because, again, well-deserved accolades, and. So anyway, a little bit of notoriety sitting at the table with you, Charlie, is always awesome.
No, I know my guys, we would have been just ripping each other all apart afterwards. Just going,
no, they love it. Let me tell you what, we did gain a lot more tweets though
Yeah.
with the women on. So,
Excellent.
FYI.
All right. That's good to know. Hey, it wasn't me. It's
right.
them. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. We got Coach Gordon. She's got to run, but we'll be back with more of Inside Lion Athletics after this.
Go Lions.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back for some more of Inside Lion Athletics. I'm Charlie Chitwood. We're joined now by the athletic director, the big cat daddy himself, Jim Curry, athletic director here. It's been a busy week.
I think that's kind of just par for the course around here.
Well, we wouldn't really want it any other way.
That's how it has to be, right?
Yeah.
Well, busy's good. I mean, generally busy's good, so we like to stay busy. But, yeah, a couple things going on.
Not too
Anything
much.
in particular?
Well, do you want to start with, God, there's something about we might really have our name changed, and people like it this time.
Well, change, I guess, is in quotes, right? Because we're just kind of taking it back to the old school now, right?
I like that.
What's old
There's
is
a
new
lot
again.
of people like that.
There is, yeah. No, it's exciting. And, we talked about this on one of our early episodes this summer. But, again, the process, right? I mean, I think anytime you go through something like this, and this is obviously a really important decision, but you want leadership in place that, is willing to listen, be adaptable, right? Be willing to take some of the feedback and apply it. And, I think understandably, there were back in the summer when we were having these conversations, there were some skeptics, right? And again, I don't mean that critically. I just mean that just happens. I've learned very quickly how some of that process went down 28 years ago, right? You don't have to be here long to get an education on that. I can promise you that. So
all these old family stories.
Yeah, right, exactly. But I think the one thing that is really cool is that we're not only are we really kind of leaning into our roots, but at the same time, the whole mission in this was to continue to create something that. Or envision something that can be representative of the growth of this university. And it doesn't intend to be a knock on the current name by any means, is how I've viewed it. But more so, how do we continue to amplify and position the brand for long-term success in a very crowded, very aggressive, and very competitive student enrollment marketplace. And I mean, the competition makes sense to me every day because we do it every day in athletics, right?
Sure.
And recruiting and being on the road and getting after it. And the same is true in the admissions space, and maybe a lot of people don't know this, but my first job in higher ed was actually in admissions. It wasn't in athletics.
Okay.
And so a lot of the same skill sets, a lot of the same strategies, a lot of the same thought process that goes into enrollment. Enrollment strategy is the same that we deploy in recruiting strategy for our teams. But at the end of the day, it's exciting to see the response. There was kind of a cool when some of this stuff was getting out on Monday. Even the Citrus Bowl, right? The SEC versus Big Ten Citrus Bowl that the Lions played in back in the 50s and are undefeated in on 4 occasions.
That's right.
They tweeted out about it.
Oh, outstanding.
So, I mean, it kind of brings everything a little bit full circle. But, I'll say this too. I still think there's a lot of people out there that think that this is a small regional teachers college in Northeast Texas. And it isn't.
No.
It's not. That's not what it is anymore. And so this is we're having record enrollment, biggest enrollment increase last year of any school in the state. We're being positioned from all the work that's being done on the research side for R2 status. You see what's happening with athletics. It's just across the board, tremendous growth. And then you look at what we're doing from an academic perspective with, top-notch engineering, cybersecurity, nursing, those STEM areas, right? Engineering, those areas, things like that. But at the same time, too, being true to kind of who we are. And so when we talk about urban-rural identity here, we do that, and we do it every day in every facet of what we do. So, kind of full circle. I'm excited about it. I've heard the response, obviously, but again, I'm grateful to be part of a leadership team that is willing to take feedback, be adaptable, think big and bold about what this is. Because the one thing that I know to be true is we should never put a limit on what's possible at this institution.
Absolutely
Never.
not.
And so I think this is another just indication of where we're going and what we can be, because frankly, it is limitless.
Now, if that comes to pass in November, I mean, there's going to be a little bit of a walk-up, I would think, preparation-wise, as far as the rebranding that goes along with the refreshed name.
Yeah, totally. And, President Rudin referenced it in the communication to the community, the campus community, that, trying to get a little bit of a 6 to 8 month kind of grace period
right.
For onboarding of this. But, I'll tell you, in athletics, we are going to be aggressive in trying to get this new brand out, should it come to pass, right? Again, we have to caveat that. But should it come to pass, because, we take that vote on the 7th, and just so happens on the 8th, we're playing men's basketball at Texas A&M.
Indeed we are.
We're playing women's basketball against Arkansas that next morning. So funny story, actually.
Bringing the throwback unis for that one?
Well, funny story on that. So I was at a conference the last couple of days up at University of Arkansas.
Okay.
And so the athletics director at University of Arkansas is Hunter Yurachek. He and I worked together back at Coastal Carolina. He was the AD when I was there. And, he kind of saw me. And he kind of heard this is the first time I had caught up with him probably since last spring. Mm-hmm. And so we ran into each other. And the first thing he says to me, he goes, so this is Monday morning, okay? Monday morning. We all know what happened Monday morning.
Hours.
Like hours, right? He's like, so jokingly, he's like, all right, so what are you guys called right now? Thinking back to the conversation in the summer. I said, well, funny you say that, because in about an hour here, there's going to be a communication that goes out about our name. And and I said, and even better yet, you're going to be the first game at 10:30 in the morning on the 8th, should it pass. And he's just looking at me. He's like, so I'm going to need some help from you. And he's like, okay. It's kind of fun story there.
Great stuff. But seriously,
yeah,
I mean,
but seriously, sorry, I didn't answer your question. I was just telling you fun stories.
Oh, it's okay. I love stories. I do, because I love telling them.
That's right. So on the athletic side, we're already starting, in terms of what that looks like, because again, we've got great showcase opportunities for our brand coming up this fall, and we don't want to miss that opportunity. So we are already working on what that, project management timeline would look like to execute some of the deployment of this as early as this November.
Wow.
And maybe even the day after the vote. Right?
Wow.
Yeah,
So find a phone booth somewhere, go in A&M Commerce, and come out East Texas A&M.
Well, here's a funny story on
with
that
a lion on it.
Women's soccer tournament starts that week.
Ooh.
So they're going to play Tuesday as A&M Commerce.
Uh-huh.
If this vote goes through on Thursday that week after the board meeting, they could actually even compete that night under a different name. And then, hopefully if they get to the championship game and hoist a trophy, they'll start the tournament as one and end it as another, right?
That would be something.
Adaptability required in the
That's
in the,
right.
in the space
You
of college
must be
athletics.
flexible.
That's for sure. That's right.
What a deal.
Yeah.
Well, that's just, Brock Calloway, on Saturdays, he's just thrilled about it, because he came in ET and left A&M Commerce.
There's another guy you're going to talk to today. I think that was the same boat as well.
Yeah?
Yeah. So he might be the head coach of the football team.
Yeah, that's right. Clint has experienced that,
yeah, he's
too.
been through that as well.
Wow.
It's just old hat for him, right?
I know.
That's all it took, is bringing Clint Dalzell back to get it back to East Texas, right?
Wow.
We've come full circle, right?
Yes, that's entirely. So everybody kind of got refreshed because they didn't have home games this last weekend. The holiday's over, though, right?
Oh, yeah. We don't have any home games this week, so we decided we'd just put a name change in there, right? Since there's nothing else going on this weekend.
Go ahead.
Actually on campus, we've got an admissions event this weekend, main event, that will have as many prospective students as we've had at that event in a long time. So kudos to Nichelle Bonds and her team for what they're doing on that side. So, we're thinking about it from the lens of athletics, but campus obviously doesn't slow down, particularly with the growth trajectory we're on. But, good weekend to just kind of, reset a couple operational things as we get ready for what's going to turn into. We've kind of coined it as sportsacopia for us on the administrative side. A cornucopia of sports balls coming out of the right. So, but yeah, all starting it really in earnest next week. But all the planning, all the execution going into that, and then at the same time too, meeting on the start of basketball, which is less than a month away now.
Yes, it is.
So it's and like I said, in addition to having every sport going full go right now, we'll just throw a little rebrand in there too, just for fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it'll certainly be different from everybody else's world for a little bit, but it's great stuff.
Yeah, good
great
stuff. Yeah, and again, we talked a little bit about the level of play in the Southland Conference, right, and what we were seeing across the league and in all sports, and I think that was on display this past weekend. Obviously volleyball got off to a good start in the conference slate. Knew they had some stiffer competition coming in from a league play. Played well, but it's Southland play now. We're conference play. Anytime you're on the road, anytime you got a conference opponent, it's going to be tough. And so, again, we're ready to compete, but we better strap it up in every sport because it's coming.
Oh, Lions are going to be ready on Saturday. They get to go up against the Demons.
Yes, sir.
In Natchitoches.
We've got volleyball's on the road to. They got Corpus on Thursday, and then soccer.
Soccer's at Natchitoches Sunday.
At Natchitoches on Sunday in a big one.
Yes.
Because Northwestern State right now, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, no, Southeastern is in first.
Right.
But Northwestern State is right there with them. Interestingly enough, we are not in first, but I think we've got the tiebreak on 1 and 2 right now. So as kind of conference play kind of goes on, obviously that'll settle itself out. But again, we got beat by our own game and against Corpus the other day when soccer was at home on Friday night, and I told Ashley after the game, I said, I'm not sure I've ever seen a team take that many corners against us, and she agreed. That was kind of the way we play, and so credit to them for the intensity they brought. I tell you, it kind of made me see about where we're at right now and how we're viewed in the league.
Right.
Corpus wins that game against us on Friday night, and they were celebrating like they just won the tournament. So a lot of respect, obviously, for what we're doing out there on the pitch and for what Ashley's built. But I think to that point, we're going to get everybody's best effort, and we're going to see that on Saturday in football. We'll see that when we go out to volleyball. That was Lamar, I think, the other night. We went down to their place. They probably played their best match of the year against us. And again, when you're in first place, you're now the hunted, right?
That is exactly right.
That's where we want to be. That's where we're trying to get to. And so now being able to be in those moments and play with that pressure up against us, and that's a good thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, man, we're just killing time, and we kill it really well.
We could go long.
I know. We need some Lion Lager, though, on our centerpiece.
That was fun. So we had a great event.
Yeah,
we talked
how
about
did
it on
that
the radio,
go?
too. Great event on Saturday to unveil that. We'll get some more information out for folks next week on that in preparation for the big homecoming week. But that was outstanding.
By halftime, you said it was 2 kegs.
They were into the second keg by halftime.
Okay.
So, I mean,
did they get into the fourth or just the third?
Well, I think everybody lost count at that point, right?
Yeah.
But well received, great event, good showing, and a lot of folks out there. And again, it was a tight ball game all the way to the end, so people stayed.
Yep.
Obviously, and so we were battling.
All right. Well, roll out the barrel and go Lions.
There it is. Go Lions.
Hey, folks, we'll be back with more after this. Hey, everybody, welcome back to Inside Lion Athletics. Time to visit with head coach Clint Dalzell, the Lion football team. Getting a little bit closer, Coach. First game in conference. We go down to Strawberry Stadium in Hammond, and the last time we were there, they weren't happy to see us at any time. We almost got them in the same way. How did this game go? Lions were making a move, and
yeah. I mean, I thought the defense played absolutely tremendous. Have them only 14 points with, basically 7:45 left to go in the game. Had a bunch of key, probably if there's ever been a weakness for our defense is stopping, the run on short. And we did 3 of the 4th downs. We stopped them in less than 2 yards. So impressive by them. We kind of probably got away from our game plan a little bit early, frustration offensively. We were moving the ball but not putting any points up, and kind of got out of our game plan probably a little bit early. Got back in it in the second half and moved the ball and had some success and put a few points on the board, but just missed some opportunities, that we got to take advantage of when you're playing a good football team. I think everybody forgets that team, put 50-something on us last year, and it was a brutal beating at the end of the season. So while there's no moral victories for me, we're getting closer. That is a good football team. I know their record doesn't show it. They played a lot of good opponents too, and they'll give problems. What I've looked at taking away from our conference so far, just watching it, any given night, somebody can go win a football game. So it's going to come down to the end. We got Northwestern this week, so we got to go play hard.
Coach, talk a little bit about the development of Ron Peace, because, we thought he was there early in the season at the Davis game, but then he had a hiccup when we got back. But
right.
You got him settled down and you built him back up. How's that process been, and how's he taken to it?
He's good. He's a great kid. Honestly, he does a lot of good things for us. He's very good in the locker room for us, just like Erod. Obviously, Erod tweaked his hamstring, so he's going to be out for a little bit. So it's back to Ron, and we feel comfortable with him out there. He can run, any part of our offense, whether it's passing or it's running. So, we're going to use him as much as possible with his legs as well, and wheels up right behind him. So,
turnovers were cut down quite a bit as well. Y'all had been averaging 4 a game for a while, but
right.
Only half of that this time, and they weren't just killers.
Yeah, I think they scored on one of them, maybe a field goal or something on one of them. But, we definitely, it helped. We really concentrated on it. You got to be careful on how much you really talk about it, because that's, the elephant in the room. We turn the ball over. The more you think about it, the more things happen. It's kind of like
Blame it on me.
A receiver or, a field goal kicker. If they've got the drops or they've got the little bit of yips, if you think about it and talk about it too much, they continue to do
right.
it. So, that did help getting away. That's why we were in the football game, trying to take care of it. We just, again, trying to improve each week. Again, we're just, one step at a time, and we've got to go get us a win this week in Northwestern.
Guys, I know they look at everybody's record, and obviously y'all are watching the film. What are the things that you have to be leery of when you go against the Demons in Turpin Stadium?
Yeah, anytime you're playing in Louisiana, it's always going to be a battle. Their fans were hostile in Southeastern. We know that's going to be the case this week in Northwestern. I played there when I was here, and when we were D2 and traveled there and played. It's always a loud environment. They'll be right behind our bench talking trash, so it'll be a fun atmosphere. They remind me of us last year, honestly. They really do. They're struggling a little bit on the offensive side, obviously. They've had some beat-up guys on the offensive line, quarterbacks. They've been through a few as well. So, again, they're very much like us. They've had some defense, steady guys stay in there. So they're in ball games early. They just kind of looks like they get a little tired and get pushed around and later in the game. So we just got to make sure we're in there in the second half.
All right, Coach, talk about some of the guys that got game balls, players of the game. Talk about the guys that made it happen in practice. First off, you had your practice players of the week.
Yeah, we have a bunch of those. This week our scout teams on both sides give a really good picture. We pushed our scout team defense this week to give us a little harder look. We maybe have patty caked a little bit too much during that bye week and kind of got lackadaisical and got kind of brought to us a little bit early in that first half. Southeastern had a really good defensive pass rush. Their front four is really good. And we held up our own for the most part until we just, towards the end when we had to pass every down, they showed their strength in where they could just go rushes. So, yeah, our scout team gives us a good look week in, week out, and proud of those guys. I could name a bunch of them. Our freshmen really do a great job. Redshirt freshmen and freshmen on both sides of the fall give us a good look. So, and it's hard. I can remember being a freshman, those first years you're coming being the man from high school, and now you've, resorted to being a backup and, just to being a practice squad guy. That's tough. You're trying to deal with school, past classes, which you've never had to go to school and this much and go out and play football as well. So it's a tough job for them, and we've done a good job of recruiting, getting some good kids in here to help us out.
All right. Well, Lions are going to be taking on the Demons of Northwestern State in Natchitoches. That game, Coach, 2:00 kickoff. That's like
good.
fall.
That weather, it felt like fall.
Time.
Felt like fall today. It's nice, to be able to play those early games. Plus, we're just traveling too. Last weekend we get back till almost 7 a.m. Travel from Southeastern because we started at 6, but at 2 o'clock kickoff would be nice. It's going to be nice, crisp weather for us, so we're looking forward to it.
All right, very good. We'll see you down there, Coach.
All right, appreciate you.
All right, folks, line up. We'll be back one more time. Avi Maida's got the segment with Joe Morales to talk about Lion volleyball. We'll be back, folks. Thanks for tuning in.
And we're here with Lion Volleyball coach Joe Morales. Welcome back to the Inside Lion Athletics podcast. A couple matches on the road, a tough match against a really improved Lamar team, and then SFA, who's been the league leader so far. 2 tough matches for you.
Yeah, I mean, there was a tough road trip. I mean, I think Ariel, the head coach, has done an amazing job in his first year, and I think they're a tough team to play against. And honestly, it's even tougher because it was the first home match. There was a pink game, so there was a lot of factors going into it. And honestly, I don't think we played bad, but I don't think we played well enough to win either. Then you got to turn around and go to play SFA, the number 1 team, and we kind of got shell-shocked in the first set and made some adjustments in the second, and then competed in the third, and I thought we had a chance to win the third set and hopefully force a fourth. But they are a tough team, and games like that, you got to get out early, and we didn't. So we're looking to change things a little bit and move on.
Against that SFA game, obviously that first set didn't go our way, but really the second and the third set, we were able to fight back, and you had a set point chance in the third set to extend the match a little bit.
Yeah, and I think our outsides did a good job. I think Gracie and Katana did amazing. I think Katana had 14 kills in the SFA match, and Gracie was probably one of the only players hitting positive. I mean, she hit like 304 against a really tough SFA team. So our outsides kept us in a lot of the games. I think we didn't have any production in any of the other positions in that match, but our defense was still holding up, and we were doing what we could to survive. And I thought we had a chance to win. I mean, at one point it was like 2018, and we just couldn't finish or couldn't score fast enough.
Now you're looking ahead. You got the next 4 matches against the same 2 opponents, 2 at home, 2 on the road. With A&M Corpus Christi is always giving us trouble, and then RGV, a new opponent.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first conference I've been to other than COVID, that you're playing back-to-back weekends, and Scout is easy, Scout is hard. We don't know how that's going to go. But yeah, it's gonna be a fun match. Corpus is really good; they're really fast, so we've been prepping for them. And then UTRGV is someone new we haven't really seen, but I've known Todd for a while, and I think they're very international heavy. I know they got some big hitters, so we're looking forward to a fun match. They're going to be tough either way, so we're just going to have to grind. We're going to have to work through some things and go play.
Yeah, still looking for that first true road win. Obviously, you had that win over Tennessee State on the road. What do you attribute that to, just not being able to win outside of home?
Well, I think this is the scheduling. I think we're playing the tougher teams right now on the road. We did well against Northwestern State playing there. And so, right now I just think the competition each and every day is getting better. Not necessarily the teams you're playing, but everyone's getting better as the season goes through. And so we just got to learn how to finish a little bit. And I think we play well. We don't always start well, and we're trying to correct that. But we play well. We just got to take opportunities to seize the moment when we have them. And we've had a couple of times that we just couldn't finish. And I think that's something we got to figure out quickly. And this is a good road trip to do it.
Great. Well, thank you for stopping by. I know you hit the road tomorrow to Corpus Christi.
Yep.
Thank you for stopping by, and good luck this weekend.
Appreciate it. Go Lions.